All right, let's just settle. And just bring your mind inside. And feet flat on the floor. Mary decided, she said she was going to bed early tonight, so now it's very late for everyone on the East Coast. So welcome and thank you for coming, particularly for the East Coast people, because it's very late there. And thank you everybody else for coming as well. So just feet flat on the floor, and maybe try and feel some sensation in the soles of the feet. Feel the weight of the heels, the side of the foot, the big toe mound, the little toe mound, and all of your toe pads. Hands can be resting comfortably on your lap or in the regular meditation mudra. Right hand nestled in the left, with the thumbs touching if you wish. And shoulders are aligned with the hips. Feel the weight of your sits bones in your chair. And your ears are aligned with your shoulders. And imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light that stretches from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So imagine you're lengthening your spine, putting some space in between the vertebrae. And thank you for the message about Dani. Now bring your attention to the crown of your head, and as you did with your feet, try and feel some sensation there. Maybe a little tingling, maybe nothing, maybe a little softening. So just release any tension in the crown. Relax the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth. Relax the back of the head, the occipital bone, and then just go back in and relax the jaw, the back of the tongue, and the temple. Relax the back of the neck. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down, and relax your throat. And chest and belly, and all of your limbs. Just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling through your nostrils. And be aware of any sounds in your environment. And just allow those sounds to be there, trying not to follow them with the mind. And now just become aware of the thoughts. Maybe you could identify them in this way of, or it can be even as simple as I'm thinking. Or you can think maybe, okay, this looks like rumination. We just take a step back and observe. And perhaps if there's some thoughts there that don't particularly serve you, maybe you can put them on a nice white fluffy cloud and just allow them to float away. And maybe for some people it's easier to Imagine you're putting your thoughts into a glass of water and they just dissolve like an aspirin or some kind of fizzy tablet. Then bring to mind all the people of your life. So you can start with the ones you love. Then there's your strangers. And then those people that you have aversion for, you wish they'd go away. And just imagine that these relationships are interchangeable. The one you don't like might become your best friend, for example. So I think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So I think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. So I think we start with the power of regret, the first of the 4 opponent powers, and sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. Think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so, having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we ourselves will experience. We know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance, and we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing the Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine, his methods. So imagine Vajrasattva is above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So then we have this little section here on developing compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then just think about those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata aham pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech, and Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, all our inappropriate speech, all our kind of speech that lacks wisdom, all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe. Again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech, including yourself. And next is the purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So, imagine you walk into a room, it's pitch black. You flick on the switch and the light instantly dispels the darkness. So imagine the same thing's happening here. The light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra and all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachment, your neediness, bitterness, grudges, anger, depression, anxiety, resentment, jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sakta a hum pe vajra safa samaya manupalaya vajra safa dina patita dina me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sakta a hum pe vajra safa samaya manupalaya vajra safa dina patita dina me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sakta a hum pe vajra safa samaya manupalaya vajra safa dina patita dina me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sakta a hum pe vajra safa samaya manupalaya vajra safa dina patita dina me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. So again, be so delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time, imagine Vajrasattva sends light and nectar. And this fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness, conscious mind. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutukaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta meboa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sutukaya meboa sipokaya meboa anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajra safa samaya manupalaya vajra safa dina patita dina me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajra safa samaya manupalaya vajra safa dina patita dina me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajra safa samaya manupalaya vajra safa dina patita dida me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajra safa samaya manupalaya vajra safa dina patita dida me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatta sawa kama sita me sitam shriam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajra mami mutta vajra bawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. So now feel completely purified. Just imagine there's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to this power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in this purification process, and it's a really crucial one. This is this determination to not harm with our body and our speech and our mind. So without this, we're going to keep doing the same old things over and over again. So this determination, this aspiration to not harm, kind of guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. So rejoice in your efforts at turning up here tonight again. Fantastic. And then just think of something you'd like to work on. And if it's something that maybe you have difficulty working on your own, you might need some help with it. You might need to remove something from your diet to help with it. So maybe think about taking the steps that you need to kind of remove this idea of, harming ourselves with our own thoughts, for example, our own actions. And Vajrasattva, imagine, delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creative negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just do our names for Manjushri. Thank you, Sharon. We're on chapter 11. Must be almost at the end. Arisen from non-being, homage to you, arisen from the Buddhas, arisen from the sky, homage to you, born of pristine wisdom. O net of illusion, homage to you, the Buddha's spectacle, homage to you, the everything of all, O body of wisdom, homage to you. Om Sava, go back, Om Sava, Dhammabhava, Sabhava, Visuddha, Vajra, A, A. Praktri, Pradishuddhi, Sava Dhamma, Yad Uta, Sava Tathagata Janakaya Manjushri, Parishuddhitam, Utpadayati, Sava Tathagata Sridayam, Hara Hara, Om Hum Shri Bhagavan, Janamurti Vagishvara, Maha Vacha, Sava Dhamma, Gaganamala, Suparashida Dhamma Dhatu Janagarbha. Okay, I think that's our 3. So let's just dedicate for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation, and then for all of your own precious teachers. Okay, everybody, lots of love. Thank you so much for hosting, Shayla and Michael and Bill. I guess you all guys are doing it together. Thank you. And I'll see you all tomorrow evening. All right. Thanks, everyone. Lots of love. Bye-bye. Good night.